With all of the people pleading guilty and potentially cooperating or providing information against the president, there's a lot of concern about might the president pardon some of these witnesses and what effect that would have. The president can only pardon someone for federal crimes. He can't pardon someone for a state offense. So that's potentially relevant in the Trump investigation because there are a lot of allegations that some of the witnesses against him, people like Paul Manafort, for example, even if he were to pardon Manafort for federal crimes, that he's potentially liable for various state crimes in New York and Virginia and maybe elsewhere. A pardon potentially could be obstruction of justice. If the purpose of the pardon was to silence a witness against you and protect yourself, then again, even though the president might have the power to grant that pardon, the act of granting it for a corrupt reason might then itself be a separate criminal offense. We've never had to address it, right? So no one really knows for sure. I think most people that look at the question think the answer is probably no, because the idea of the president pardoning himself runs counter to our entire system. It places the president above the law, says the president in his own case can be, the judge and the jury. Theoretically, it would mean the president go out and shoot somebody on the front lawn and then pardon himself and couldn't be prosecuted. So I think most people think the answer is probably no, but it's never been tested. We don't know. And if the president were to pardon himself, we might someday see that issue being resolved in the Supreme Court. The president is in a position of possibly pardoning people who might end up being witnesses against him that are kind of outside, what the pardon power was originally designed to achieve. Now we're not talking about clemency and mercy or the ability of the president to exercise, some discretion against someone who's been convicted. But now we're talking about a president possibly protecting themselves from criminal investigation through the abuse of the pardon power.